Hey, 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 it's Talk with Jay, and today I got something for you guys. I'm reacting to an old Pokemon video, top 10 craziest things that happened back when Pokemon Go used to have, people walking into traffic and trespassing and people driving and crashing and stuff, back in its day when millions and billions of people were playing. And we're going to check it out, all right? I'm going to be in the little corner. I'm going to be real small, but it's worth a watch. I thought you guys would like it. With that being said, enjoy. Let's get right into it. Top 10 craziest things that happened while playing Pokemon Go. Check it out.
Gotta catch 'em all, but at what cost? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest things that happened while playing Pokemon Go.
From driving accidents to distracted pedestrians and dangerous trespassing, as was the case in Encinitas.
For this list, we're taking a look at the most interesting, ridiculous, and downright...
Remember how they made the augmented reality look so good in the teasers and stuff? You're like, oh, there's going to be a Charizard next to me, and then it was pretty cool to do at first, but they made it look so good, and then you get in there and it's glitching and it was not as good as they made it seem.
Insane things that have happened to people while playing this hit augmented reality game.
I will be a Pokemon Master! Pokemon Master! That is what I'll... Ash! Get to bed!
Number 10. Water bomb attack.
Welcome to lecture number 8 on the water balloon. Yesterday I asked everyone to think of other liquids you could fill a balloon with. Water? Oh!
A suburb of Sydney, Australia, Rhodes is a hotspot for players to come together, set up lures, and capture Pokemon. Trainers are particularly attracted to the neighborhood's Peg Patterson Park, which hosts several Pokestops, along with a number of...
Guys, back then they didn't have correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't have phones that were waterproof, right? I mean, imagine playing Pokemon Go all hyped up because you're about to catch a Squirtle, and then you get squirted by a damn water balloon.
Apartment buildings. Understandably, some locals aren't pleased that crowds of hundreds and even thousands have been gathering there late at night. On one especially noisy evening, residents started to hurl water bombs at the 300 people outside.
You're soaked. Did you get hit by a water bomb?
They were also bombarded with eggs, and we're not talking about Pokemon eggs. The cops threatened players with a $200 fine if they refused to leave. Keep this in mind, guys. If you're catching Pokemon late at night in a residential area, try not to be so explode.
Ah, nice double entendre. Don't be explode. Yeah, so number 10, bunch of Pokemon Go players got pelted by water balloons. Not too crazy, but that's a good story. I couldn't imagine being there. That would have been one for the books.
Number 9. Trainer gets stabbed and keeps playing.
I saw him go by and I was like, you playing Pokemon Go? Or whatever, and he's like, what? I was like, Pokemon Go, and then I guess he wanted the battle or something, because he just came at me with the knife, so.
Michael Baker.
Hey guy, you play Pokemon Go? This guy proceeds to pull out a knife and he's, oh, you want a battle? Go Pikachu, and next thing you know, you're just getting stabbed.
Is the living testament to the phrase, the game must go on. While hunting Pokemon in Forest Grove, Oregon, this young man
went to the nearest
stabbed
Pokemon
by a
Center.
Complete stranger. Now, usually when a person gets knifed, their first instinct is to seek immediate medical attention. But
Duh.
Baker simply had to catch 'em all and continued on his Pokemon journey. We admire his determination, but this guy might want to sort out his priorities.
As for Michael, he says he'll be careful next time, but will continue his mission to be the best.
Baker would eventually go to the hospital and get 8 stitches in his
He's
shoulder.
trolling.
Although he
He's gotta
stopped
be
at a
trolling.
convenience store for chips and beer first. This trainer might have risked his life, but nobody ever said becoming a Pokemon master was easy.
We have a driveway,
It's a Pokemon emergency!
Number 8. Rant gets man fired.
You're fired.
If you're a Pokemon fan living in Australia, New Zealand, or
Now, nowadays, I mean, times were a little different 7 years ago, but nowadays, it is not unusual to get fired over something you said. All right, Pokemon Go rant gets somebody fired. Nowadays, you can get fired for saying, I like white people.
United States, July 6th, 2016 was probably the greatest day of your life. While Pokemon Go became available in these 3 lucky countries, the rest of the world had to impatiently wait. This news infuriated Australian Sonny Truyen, who was working in Singapore when the game launched. To express his frustration, Truyen took to Facebook and wrote,
My girlfriend shook her head no over there when I said that. You could get fired for saying you know, I'm straight. I'll fix that.
quote,
There we go.
You
How about
can't
that?
f***ing catch Pokemon in this piece of f***ing shit country. Truyen's
Oh my
comments didn't
God.
reflect well on his employers at 99.co, who had recently hired him as their vice president of digital marketing. Truyen was fired shortly thereafter. On the bright side, he can now become a full-time Pokemon trainer.
Now that I'm 10, I can finally get my Pokemon license.
10-year-olds can get a
Now he could become a full-time Pokemon trainer because it takes full dedication to reach the Elite Four,
beginner Pokemon from Professor Oak, the town's Pokemon
which are non-existent in Pokemon Go. They need to add the Elite Four. That would have been amazing.
expert.
Number 7. Pokemon vs. ISIS. In the realm of Pokemon, Team
ISIS
Rocket
don't
is
exist
the
anymore,
greatest
guys.
threat imaginable.
They do, I guess.
In the real world, however, ISIS is double trouble to say the least. While fighting in Iraq, American soldier Lewis Park didn't capture ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, but he did capture a Squirtle. Playing Pokemon Go on the front line, Park was not only armed with a Pokeball, but a machine gun as well. His photo of Squirtle went viral on Facebook, leading some to argue that Park should have been battling ISIS.
Yeah, we got people in the army hanging out up in the battlefields catching Squirtles. That's cool. I'm down with that. As long as he's playing when they're, I mean, I guess they should be focused on the battle because you really don't want to be looking at a Squirtle and then a Charizard fly overhead and burn you up, you know? So you got to be focused.
Instead of battling Pokemon. Although, to be fair, when you're going up against terrorists, you need all the help you can get. So having a Blastoise in your corner certainly couldn't hurt.
Exactly. She gets
Number
it.
6. Robbers capture Pokemon trainers.
Team Rocket will now take possession of your Pokemon!
To draw in more Pokemon, users can drop lure modules at Pokestops. So as you can imagine, these beacons attract Pokemon Go players like a Venomoth to a flame. In Missouri, armed robbers used this to their advantage, enticing players with lures and holding them up at gunpoint. We've heard of hunting Pokemon, but who ever heard of hunting Pokemon trainers?
If they're gonna try to rob our Pokemon, we might as well make.
I also heard people were doing this to kidnap kids. That's crazy. The whole, lure in a Pokestop because kids are going to come looking for more Pokemon. Quite crazy. Pokemon did fix this a little bit, but, it's crazy the world we live in.
A battle!
Yeah, we can't just surrender.
Let's fight back!
The thieves robbed a total of 11 players before the police arrested 4 suspects, ranging from ages 16 to 18. Charged with first-degree robbery, the adult suspects had their bond set at $100,000 each. Number 5. Man caught cheating.
Uh-oh.
You! Get out of the f***ing car!
Although the purpose of this app is to catch Pokemon, it can also be used to catch your 2-timing lover in the act. Evan Scribner made the mistake of capturing a Pokemon at his ex's house
cheating
while
through
cheating
Pokemon
on
Go.
his
I
girlfriend.
wouldn't be proud to say
Utilizing
that, bro.
your device's GPS, this location-based game keeps a record of where your Pokemon are captured. So when Scribner's girlfriend opened Pokemon Go on his phone, she was able to pinpoint exactly where her man had been. As you might have guessed, Scribner is now a single man. Then again, it's not like this is the first time a video.
What I don't understand is, says she found him by looking at where he caught his Pokemon, and it doesn't lead you to an exact spot.
Maybe she knew that he's been hanging around that specific area too much, and she knows a girl that he was talking to in that area.
Yeah, I guess maybe, it's like, what were you doing in Atlanta? You caught a Pokemon in Atlanta.
I know
Game has put a damper on someone's love life.
You gotta see
You can't
this
even
through
tell
the
what
eyes
street.
of a woman, you know?
What is she gonna think when she comes in here? Oh look, he's got a billion toys. So what? And more video games than a teenaged Asian kid.
Number 4, car hits player.
The car came flying up the hill.
That was
in the middle
common.
of it, but I tried to get out of the way so I didn't get hit fully.
Pokemon Go has encouraged countless gamers to explore the great outdoors, although some kids might have been better off staying home. After catching a Pokemon at a museum, Autumn Daiseroth attempted to cross a busy street and got hit by a car. The Pennsylvania teen was then rushed to the hospital, where her injuries were treated. Both Daiseroth and her mother blame Pokemon Go for this accident, but many have debated that it's not the game's fault.
But kids don't just cross a highway. You know, they're not going to walk across a highway for no reason. This thing had her walking across a highway to find a Pokemon.
After all,
Yeah, that's because everybody wants to catch them all. Come on, you gotta learn. Obviously, it's okay to walk across the highway if you're trying to catch a Gyarados. Learn something, lady. But they give you a warning now, and it says stay alert. You know, be aware of your surroundings. The game didn't make her cross the street. The game got her excited about something that made her choose to walk across the street.
the loading screen reminds people up front to be alert at all times and stay aware of your surroundings.
All right, you just need to calm down. We need to think for a second. We just need to think this out. Thinking, we need to act.
Number 3,
Classic.
Trainers fall off cliff.
You're not listening, man.
They were up there hanging out with the Geodudes, and they just didn't have the upper body strength to hang on. They fell right off the cliff.
Oh, crikey.
Pokemon Go sent 2 players over the edge. No, seriously, it literally sent them over the edge of a cliff. While playing the game in San Diego's North County, these Californians were guided to an ocean bluff. The area was fenced off with warning signs, but that wasn't going to stop the guys from being the best.
On top of the fact that there are several signs out here warning you of how dangerous.
The narrator, the lady talking, she's hilarious, man. The cliff, people falling off the cliff was not going to stop them from being the best. Being stabbed was not going to stop Michael from being the best there is. He was going to catch them all.
These cliffs and these bluffs are. In this section, there is a strong, heavy barricade in place keeping you from getting any closer.
Since both young men had their heads in the clouds, neither noticed the seaside cliff below. One fell all the way to the beach, while the other was discovered roughly 50 feet down the cliff. Fortunately, both survived and only suffered minor injuries.
I'm in an extraordinarily large amount of pain. The bone has gone through the skin.
We wonder if Nurse Joy and Chansey ever dealt with this kind of Pokemon emergency.
If there's anything I can do, please, just tell me. You can be more responsible.
Number 2, players hop zoo fence.
It wasn't the most responsible thing, but hey, gotta catch them all.
Remember when people went to zoos to see living, breathing animals? Well, we all live in a Pokemon world now. On Facebook, 25-year-old Robin Bartholomew posted, quote, "I am not above breaking and entering for a Pokemon." She was not joking. Along with 26-year-old Adrian Crawford, Bartholomew jumped the fence at Toledo Zoo in pursuit of Pokemon.
We go into the bear pit.
No, run, no.
After being discovered near a tiger exhibit, the 2 were arrested and charged with criminal trespass.
Clearly, the craze has gotten people playing up the wazoo.
Bartholomew has since admitted that her actions weren't very responsible, acknowledging that even a Charizard isn't worth going to jail for.
Charizard! I didn't say start.
Before we get to our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Catches a Pidgey while his wife gives birth. Did you see the Pidgey sitting on her big belly, her bump?
Number 1, players crash into Quebec City cops. It's safe to say that many of the accidents involving Pokemon
They drove
Go
right
are
into the cops.
vehicle-related. Crashing your car into a tree while playing the game is one thing, but crashing into 2 Quebec City cops is another level of bad luck. In the parking lot of a library, a driver and passenger were playing Pokemon Go in a car. The preoccupied driver reversed the vehicle and rammed into a nearby police cruiser. Fortunately, the 2 cops inside weren't seriously injured. The driver actually got off fairly easily too, merely receiving 2 $30 tickets. It's just a good thing these players didn't crash into Officer Jenny.
Hold it! And just where do you think you're going with that Pokemon, young man?
Do you agree with our list? What do you think is the craziest thing to happen while playing Pokemon Go?
No Pokemon and driving.
For more alluring top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Well, guys, that was quite the video. I just wanted to share it with you. I started watching it and I got to the second one where he got stabbed. I said I got to see if I can make a video on this. So it's my first time doing a video like this. It's like a cheat shortcut, but hey, you know, if you guys enjoy the content, you let me know. And I'll see you guys on the next one.